Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure to be back.
I was thinking today's topic is one that I think a lot of people are going to find super useful. It's all about pre-closing, specifically for network marketing.
Pre-closing. It sounds a little mysterious, doesn't it? Like some kind of Jedi mind trick.
Right. And we're going to try to demystify all of that today.
Absolutely.
We'll be looking at a couple of sources. Uh, Pre-Closing for Network Marketing by Keith and Tom, Big Al Schreiter, and the Pre-Closing Mastery podcast.
Two great resources on this topic.
And we're going to try to, like I said, kind of figure out what it's all about.
Yeah.
But the basic idea is, how do you get someone to say yes to your product or opportunity before you've even gone into, like, the whole spiel?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's more achievable than you might think.
So maybe we should just right off the bat, what is pre-closing? Let's just define it.
So pre-closing is, in a nutshell, it's about guiding your prospect to a decision before you lay out all the nuts and bolts of your product or opportunity.
Okay, so it's not about, like, hiding information or being sneaky. It's more about, I guess, setting the stage for a yes.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it like, when you watch a movie trailer and you're like, I gotta see that movie. You haven't even seen the whole film yet, right?
Yeah.
But you're already leaning in.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
You're already kind of sold on the idea.
Yeah. So how does that work in network marketing? Because
Yeah.
we're not using special effects and music and all that.
Well, not exactly, but we are tapping into psychology. Both the book and the podcast talk about how people actually make decisions before they have all the facts. It's just how our brains work.
Really?
Yeah. You think about it, you choose a restaurant, you go on a date, you buy a car.
Yeah.
You're not always doing like in-depth research, right?
Yeah.
You're going off of feelings, first impressions, and, sometimes that initial spark is all it takes.
Interesting. So how do network marketers use this in pre-closing? Like, what are some specific techniques?
Well, one of the biggest things is emphasizing value right up front. Instead of leading with, the compensation plan or the nitty-gritty details, focus on the benefits. Share a story, something personal, about how this product or opportunity has changed your life or helped others.
That's interesting. That makes me think about the podcast. They really emphasize storytelling, right?
Yes. They're all about crafting compelling narratives. Because a good story can really pull people in, make them feel something. And when they can see themselves in that story, that's when the magic happens.
So it's like you're not just listing features and benefits, you're creating an emotional connection.
Exactly.
Okay. And then once you've got that connection, that's when you start asking those strategic questions, right?
Right. Questions that get them thinking, get them imagining the possibilities.
But I got to ask, doesn't this feel a little, I don't know, manipulative? Like we're trying to guide someone to a yes before they even have all the information.
It's a fair point, and that's why authenticity is so important. You have to be genuine. It's not about pressure. It's about understanding their needs, their concerns, and addressing them head on.
Okay, so it's like being transparent, building trust.
Absolutely. It's a partnership.
Okay. So what kind of questions are we talking about? What are some examples of these strategic questions?
So instead of asking closed-ended questions like, do you like this?
Right.
You want to ask open-ended questions that get them thinking about the benefits. Like you might say, what aspects of this opportunity really resonate with your goals?
Okay, so it's about getting them to think about how this could actually fit into their life.
Exactly. You're planting seeds, getting them to envision themselves succeeding.
That's clever. So let's talk about the benefits of pre-closing. Obviously, it can potentially lead to more sales, but are there other advantages?
Oh, absolutely. One of the biggest ones is that it takes a lot of the pressure off the actual presentation because the prospect is already leaning towards yes.
Okay, so it's less like a hard sell.
Way less. It makes the whole process smoother, more enjoyable for everyone involved.
Right, because if someone's already bought into the idea, they're probably going to be more receptive, more engaged.
Exactly. And you know what that leads to? Stronger relationships. People feel understood, valued. They're more likely to stick around to become successful long-term partners.
So pre-closing, it's not just about getting that initial yes. It's about building a solid foundation for a lasting partnership.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So we've talked about techniques, we've talked about benefits.
Yeah.
What about the actual skills involved? Both the book and the podcast really emphasize active listening, building rapport. How important are those things in pre-closing?
Oh, they're essential. Active listening is key because everyone is different. You have to be able to tailor your approach to each individual prospect.
That makes sense.
Understand their needs, their motivations, And building rapport, well, that's all about creating a genuine connection, building trust and mutual respect. You can't fake that.
And they also talk about persistence, patience. It sounds like pre-closing isn't something you just learn overnight. It's a process, right?
It is. Like any skill, it takes practice. You got to hone your questions, get comfortable guiding the conversation naturally. It's about being a good listener, being adaptable, being genuinely interested in helping people.
So to wrap up, I guess what we're saying is pre-closing isn't about manipulation. It's about creating an environment where that yes feels like a natural, exciting choice.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to make decisions that are right for them, that align with their goals and aspirations.
That's a great way to put it. And it leaves me with a thought. If you could pre-close any decision in your life right now, what would it be and how would you approach it? Something to think about.
I like that. Something to ponder.
Thanks for joining us today for this deep dive into pre-closing. I hope you found it valuable. And be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into something new.
Always a pleasure. See you next time. Bye.